You think people who don't watch football are just too introverted for sports? Wrong. They're not rejecting the game. They're rejecting the performance you're all putting on around it. Let me explain what's actually happening here. There's a psychological concept called social spectating fatigue. It's when your brain realizes the event itself matters less than the ritual around it. Football non-watchers aren't avoiding 22 people chasing a ball. They're avoiding the exhausting theater of pretending this matters to their identity. Stanford researchers found that group rituals increase oxytocin by 40%. That's the bonding hormone that makes you feel connected. But here's the dark part nobody mentions. That same oxytocin spike creates tribal exclusion anxiety in people outside the circle. So when you're not watching the game, you're not just missing entertainment. You're actively resisting a neurochemical pressure campaign to belong. The average football fan will tell you it's about the sport. They'll say it's athletic excellence or strategic brilliance. But watch what happens when their team loses. Suddenly it's the ref's fault or the weather or some conspiracy. That's not sports appreciation. That's ego, protection, masquerading as fandom. People who don't watch football have simply opted out of outsourcing their emotional regulation to strangers. They've noticed something uncomfortable. Every Sunday becomes a mandatory emotional lottery where your mood depends on which millionaire kicked a ball better. That's not entertainment. That's voluntary emotional hostage-taking. And your brain knows it even if you don't admit it. There's also the pattern recognition problem. Non-watchers see through the manufactured urgency. Every game is the most important game until the next most important game. Every season is historic until next season starts. It's perpetual crisis theater designed to keep you locked in. Psychologist Sherry Turkle calls this continuous partial attention. Your brain never fully rests because there's always another match, another rivalry, another drama. Football non-watchers have simply decided their attention is worth more than that. They've done the math on how many hours they'd spend watching, discussing, and defending their team, and they've chosen literally anything else. Here's where it gets interesting. The people most upset about non-watchers are usually the ones most anxious about their own choice. If you're secure in loving football, someone else not caring shouldn't bother you. But it does bother you. Because their disinterest holds up a mirror. It asks the question you've been avoiding. What are you actually getting from this? Studies on parasocial relationships show we bond with teams the same way we bond with people. Except the team doesn't know you exist. It's a one-way relationship where you invest emotionally and get nothing back, except permission to feel things. Non-watchers have simply noticed this asymmetry and walked away. They're not missing out. They're refusing to participate in consensual delusion. And that makes everyone else deeply uncomfortable. Because if they can opt out and be fine, what does that say about your need to stay in? So, here's your permission slip. You don't have to watch football to be social. You don't have to care about sports to be a complete person. You don't have to perform enthusiasm for something that bores you just to avoid awkward conversations. The people who matter won't care. And the people who care don't matter. Your Sunday afternoons belong to you, not to a stadium full of strangers and a television broadcasting corporation. If this resonated, subscribe for more uncomfortable psychology, truths delivered with zero motivational nonsense. We're building a community of people who think too much and refuse to apologize for it. See you in the next one.